Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Taylor Kingsbury. I am a citizen of the Chickasaw Nation and a descendant of the Choctaw Nation. I am the program officer for the Student Success Team at AISES. I'm sure you have received many emails from me throughout your scholarship process. And so I'm very excited to see some of your faces. I'm excited to have you all here with us. And we're just going to kind of go over a little bit of the scholarship program that you're in and what we expect from you, what you can expect from us, and then also talk a little bit about spring renewal. So if everyone can make sure that you are muted completely, only because we don't want any feedback in the recording for other people. Okay, so now that I've introduced myself, I have two other team members on the student success team. Our director, Dr. Johnny Pula, is also on the call, so I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Johnny Pula. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I am a citizen of the Delaware Nation. I'm also Kiowa, Comanche, Cherokee, Apache, and Delaware, or I think I already said that one. And I live and I work remotely permanently in Anadarko, Oklahoma. And so I'm the director of the student success team, and I have a wonderful Taylor and I have Hope here as part of the team, and you'll meet Hope here in a second. But I just want to say I'm very happy, and I want that you're all here. But I also want to give a big congratulations to all of you, because I know you're all scholarship awardees, and that's what this this meeting is about. So I hope that you pay attention, and I hope that you all have a great year, and I hope that you all get to meet one another, hopefully one day. But again, I just glad that you're here. I just want to say thank you for Taylor for hosting this, and good luck to everyone in there this year. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Like Johnny said, my name is Hope, and I am the Programs and Development Manager here at AISES. I live in Colorado, so in the Colorado office. I was born and raised here. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I am Chicana, so like I said, from Colorado. And yeah, I'm so excited to see all of you as well, and hear what Taylor has for us tonight. Thanks.
Yay. Okay, so that was the team, and I'm sure you've all probably received emails from Hope as well, and you'll probably receive those throughout the life of the scholarship that you're on for this academic year, especially as we begin to renew in the spring. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen. And so just bear with me for 1 second. All right. That's the right one. Great. Okay, I'm just going to swivel this over here because I still need to keep people admitting people. So can everyone see my PowerPoint? Are we good? Thumbs up. Great. Okay, so welcome to the All Scholars meeting. We're very excited to have you all here. You should be just so proud of yourselves. You know, we have a really large pool of scholars that come in every year, and it's really important to AISES to be able to, you know, fund these spaces that are underrepresented by Indigenous people. So STEM is one of those large spaces that we've really focused on. So congratulations on being part of that mission. It's very exciting. So I'm going to talk a little bit about AISES. And so if you're not very familiar with AISES, which is totally okay if you're not, so it's the American Indian Science and Engineering Society. We're a national nonprofit organization. And like I said, we focus specifically on getting representation in the world of STEM, the representation of American Indians, Alaska Natives, Native Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders, First Nations, and other Indigenous peoples of North America. So in STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and math. And we focus on all the way, we like to say we focus from birth, but really it's kind of from like pre-K all the way through like end of career, like through retirement. And so AISES is really like all encompassing when it comes to how we're trying to support Indigenous people in STEM. And so a little bit of the background of AISES. So we were founded in 1977, so we've been around a little while. But we're always expanding. We're getting new scholarships. We're getting new programs. We're adding staff members. We're growing our national conferences and our leadership summits. And so we're always growing. We have chapters at universities and colleges. We have professional chapters. So even after you graduate, if you love being an AISES scholar and love being a part of AISES, there's still things for you to do after you leave your academic career. We have different programs in K through 12 as well. And so we're kind of across the board with STEM, which is really exciting. And so we focus a lot on scholarships and internships, as you know, but there's workforce development, there's career resources. Like I said, we have the conferences, and we're really passionate about being in all of those spaces and supporting everyone throughout their life, throughout their academic and further career in STEM. So here are the scholarships that we offer. So some of you probably see your scholarship there, or at least you might have applied for multiple scholarships. And so this past academic year, we were really fortunate enough to have a 3M scholarship. We have Aristocrat, VGT, A.T. Anderson, BNSF, Chevron, Intel, which is 3 different ones. There is Native Next Gen, which is freshman only, undergrad, which is sophomore to senior, and then graduate. And then we have a new one that is SPIA, which is only for aerospace engineering. So through these wonderful funders, we were able to fund all of you in your academic career, which is really exciting. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the AISES scholarships and kind of just a little background on what, just a little information on the scholarships. So payments, your scholarship payment, unless you're a BNSF scholar, goes directly to you. And kind of what this means for you as a scholar and what this means for AISES. So I guess I can start with that point is AISES understands, and the funders that we get our scholarships from understand that tuition, like paying for tuition, is not the only stopgap to continuing on in your academic career, right? There are books, there's housing, there's a car to get to class, there's your computer that you need to be in class, or maybe you have to pay fees on a lab. And so that's one main reason why the payments from our scholarships go directly to you, is because we understand that even if your tuition is paid, you still need money for those other things. And so I think that's something that's really special about AISES, and you don't get from a lot of other scholarships. And so I definitely recommend that as you move forward, you keep applying for these scholarships. And also, because it is a payment directly to you, and because you don't have to necessarily use it on your tuition, you don't necessarily have to claim it in your school as a tuition payment. So if you're going to be reaching your threshold of scholarship payments with the addition of an AISES scholarship, you do not have to declare this as a tuition payment to your school, because it is a scholarship that's going directly to you. And if you have questions about that, you can reach out to me. I'm happy to help and answer any questions that you have on that. But that's something that we run into, and we just want to reassure you that it's pretty much unrestricted scholarship funds for you and your academic career. The next thing I want to talk about is the renewal in the spring, and we'll get really into this later on, but I just kind of want to talk about the renewal in the spring. You will have to renew your scholarship. The next thing is you can reapply next year. Our scholarships are not, if you've been funded one year, you don't get it the next year. That's not how they work. We recommend that you keep applying. We also have new scholarships that come up every year. So make sure you're a member of AISES, and that way you can get all of those nice notifications when it comes to when our scholarships open. And and some things about being a scholar with ACES is you get some really unique interactions with your funder. You all, with the exception of AT Anderson scholars, all of you have meetings coming up. And in the meetings, some of the funders will be there. And so the funders want to talk to you about, and some of the funders might have already reached out to you. There's internship possibilities, there are employment possibilities, getting to be in those spaces and make those connections is something that is really, I think, very unique to ACES and their scholarship, because you really get that one-on-one with your funder generally. And the other thing is so please contact us, me or Hope or Dr. Pula, anytime you have any issues or any questions about your scholarship. That's if you do not get your payment, or if it's the wrong amount, or if you need to, if you change schools, if you change your major, if you go below full-time status. These are things that we have to know at ACES. And so if anything happens, please reach out to us. We're always available. We can jump on a call and talk you through it, and always happy to help. Okay, so I kind of went over this already, but again, payments are made by direct deposit unless you specify to me that you want checks. And if you have in the past gotten a direct deposit and you would rather have a physical check in the future, that's something we can definitely arrange for you in the spring. Just make sure you let me know. The direct deposit forms, in the spring when we renew, and some of us ran into this year, you probably got many emails from me if this was an issue for you. We have to have either a voided check or a letter from your bank verifying the numbers. And that is because our bank will not let us send that check or your money based only on your direct deposit form. It has to be verified basically through a bank. And that's really good, because obviously we don't want there to be a discrepancy in how you write your nines, and maybe we think it's a 4 and we send it to someone else's bank account. I mean, we cannot get that money back. And so this is for your safety as well as ours. We want to make sure we get you that money directly into your bank account as easily as possible without the possibility of a lot of issues. If you change banks before your spring renewal, please let us know, because you are going to be getting your next round of checks, and we'll be contacting you in January about getting that together, possibly starting in December and in January, and getting that information. But that's something you should let us know. And like I said, you do not have to report this scholarship to your schools if you're going to hit that tuition threshold. Money, food, rent, computers, that tuition as well are things that we want you to use this scholarship for. So now we're going to move on kind of to scholarship expectations. So as an ACES scholar, what do we expect from you? So we expect you to be responsive to ACES. So myself, Hope, and Dr. Pula, when we reach out to you, we really expect you to be responsive. It's going to make your life easier when it comes to getting your scholarship money, to getting your questions answered, and it's going to make our lives easier as well if we don't have to chase you down. We understand you're busy and you have classes and you've got family stuff and probably a job as well. But we really need the information we're asking you for, especially in a direct question, not because we want to bug you. Even though we love talking to you, we definitely want to make this as easy as possible. Also representing ACES in a positive manner. So you are a scholar of ACES, and we want you to be respectful of that and have a positive light about that. And part of that is if you have information that you need to disclose to us. So if you do unenroll in school, this is something that we do need to know, because obviously we don't want to keep funding your academic career if that is not something that you're pursuing. And we also want to help you with those questions. If you have questions about school, questions about your application, we want to be there for you, but we also expect that you are respectful of ACES as an organization. Keeping your GPA 3.0 and above. So this is the standard that our funders and ACES has set for our scholars. That being said, we understand that things happen. We understand that you get a bad professor, or not a bad professor, a professor that maybe is really hard, or you have a lot of problems in one class. If your GPA drops below 3.0, please let us know. That is not going to automatically disqualify you from being a scholar in the spring, because we understand that that does happen, but it's something that we need to hear from you and kind of hear like what's going on, like what struggles are you having. Maybe we can help you with some of those struggles, but it's something that we really need to know. So I just encourage you to keep that 3.0 or above. And if you do fall below, that is something that we understand, but just please communicate that to us and kind of talk that through with us. Being an ACES member. So like I said, we open the scholarships and we send out notices if you're a member. So everyone should be a member. I think I contacted those that are not, but this is really important because we do a lot of fun things outside of just scholarships at ACES that you might be interested in. There are talks that happen, there are webinars that happen, events that happen. And it's also just a really good place to kind of connect with other people who are in STEM fields. Maybe you'll find a mentor, maybe you'll get to meet people in a chapter in your university. So it's free for you as a college student. Recommend 100%. Please be a member of ACES. The other thing is participate in webinars and or events. So as a scholar, obviously there is an expectation that you participate in ACES in some form. So positively representing ACES is a big one, but also there might be some times when myself, Hope, or Johnny, or even someone else at ACES might call you and say, hey, or email you and say, hey, we had this opportunity for you to speak at this, this webinar, or maybe you can speak at national conference or something like that. Would you want to do that as a scholar? Obviously, this is not mandatory, but it is an opportunity as a scholar for ACES. So if something you're interested in, I definitely recommend. ACES is a great place to make those connections beyond just being a scholar. So that might be something that we call upon you on. Like I said, not a requirement, but something that we would love for you to consider. And the other thing is to really enjoy school. We understand school can be really stressful and money can be really stressful with school. There are a lot of different factors, but try to enjoy it. We're here to support you. There are so many other people that are here to support you. And we want to make sure that you enjoy the journey. Okay, so spring renewal. So I know you just got your checks, you might be taking midterms right now. Spring is so far away, but we're almost out of October, which is crazy. And so let's go ahead and talk about what's going to happen in the spring. So you get your scholarship, as you all know, in 2 disbursements. So you get your fall disbursement and you get your spring disbursement. And so the scholarships are split in half. So in order to receive that second half of your scholarship, when the new disbursement goes out, we need to have, if you've changed banks, we have to have a new direct deposit form. We need to have your new transcript that shows your last classes that you just took. And we understand that grades being posted takes a while. We just need the transcript showing the classes. And if your grades have been posted, that's great. Obviously, we worked with some of you because I know classes start really late for some schools, and there's a whole different schedule. And so we're happy to work with you on that. We totally understand. The new class schedule for the spring semester. So these things we need to verify that you kept your grades up and that you're enrolled in your spring semester full-time in the field that you had specified to us before. Obviously, if you've changed your major, your grades have dropped, you've changed schools, all these, all the factors that you initially went into the scholarship program with, if that changes, just let us know. The faster you communicate that to us, the better we're going to be able to help you and kind of work around that kind of those things. And so the least amount of surprises we have when it comes to spring, the absolute better for all of us. And we obviously trust you all, so we're only here to help. Okay, so that's the spring. now we're just going to move along, unfortunately, to the next academic year, which is coming up. We're already planning for it here at ACES. I'm sure you're all already thinking about your next year of school. So here's a little timeline that we are working with at ACES, just kind of for your information. So scholarships are going to open January 31st. And they're going to close May 31st. So the exact same timeline we had last year. So what we're going to be offering during that time that I highly recommend that you take advantage of is going to be the webinars. And I'm going to talk about those a little later. But just know that the earlier you get in there and start looking at your applications, or the earlier you get in there and start editing your AISES account, because you are going to need to edit your the year of classification, because I'm sure a lot of you will have progressed into your new class. You might need to change your address, phone number, things like that. So getting in there early, updating your information, starting on your scholarship applications. The sooner you do that, the better it is. And the better you're going to be able to ask us questions and we're going to help. Because when it gets down to the wire, when it gets down to May, we are scrambling to get stuff together because most of our applications come in right at the end. So in order for us to help you as much as possible, the earlier the better. And we are here to help, 100% here to help, answer your questions about your applications, all of that stuff. And internships. So I know this is a scholarship call, but we offer internships. And that is something that's going to be opening in the middle of December. That's what we're aiming for right now. And it's going to close the end of March. So these are our summer internships. We don't offer very many, but they are internships where you actually go to an organization or a company and work for 10 weeks in the summer. You live there, you work there. We've had people go to Madison, Wisconsin, Las Vegas. We had 4 this past summer, and you actually get to work in these companies and get to really experience what it's like working in those environments that you want to go into long-term after your academic career ends. So if you're an ACES member, you're going to get that information, and we highly recommend that you, if you're interested in internship, that you apply to it. It's a really great opportunity. You're going to meet some really great people and get your foot in the door possibly at a company. So the webinars that I was mentioning, as a scholar or as someone who's going to apply for a scholarship for the academic year of 2022-2023, I just want to advise you to attend our webinars. So throughout January, well, we do a lot of them now, but specifically January through May, we have a number of scholarships or webinars that are only to help people who are applying for scholarships. So essay writing, every one of our scholarships requires an essay. And that can be really difficult, especially if you haven't written an academic essay in the past, or if you haven't applied for a scholarship with an essay. We have a whole webinar on that. And we leave time open at the end to ask a question. We go through each scholarship application as well. And we kind of go through the specifics, what the funder wants, any questions that you have, or anything that stands out to you. We're there to answer that on the application that you are applying for. So it's a very one-to-one application. Letters of recommendation. A lot of people, especially now in our very virtual day and age, are really unsure on how to get those letters of recommendation. That's something that we go over. Organization skills, applying for all these scholarships, still going to schools, doing finals, having a job. We understand that it can take a little bit of practice to be organized. And so we have people come in and talk about organization and how that works and many other things. So what we're hoping to do for you is to make this as easy and as informative as possible throughout your academic career. We want to be there to answer those questions and to help you through all of the things that you might not have done in the past, or you might feel like you could do better this time. I know Dr. Pula has personally read over people's essays on one-on-ones with them, and so that's kind of stuff that we want to make sure that that at ACES we're here to help you with those things. So don't be embarrassed to ask, I don't know how to get a letter of recommendation, attend the webinar and also ask us. We're definitely happy to help you. Okay, so I kind of went really fast through that. I thought it was going to last longer, but now's a good time for questions. So I am going to stop. Oh, success stories. That's another thing. We'll do questions last. So success stories. AISES is doing our annual report to send out to all of our members and to put on the website. And the director of the annual report has asked if we have any success stories from scholars. So if you have a story that because of your scholarship, you feel as though it's a success story, or maybe it's a past scholarship you've gotten from AISES, or maybe it's going to national conference or something like that. We just want to know a success story from you. We want to know something, and it's something that we obviously want to be able to put in the letter or put on the website. And so make sure you feel comfortable sharing it. But if that's something that you want to do, we would love to hear from you. I mean, we want to hear from you anyway if you have a success story, but if it's something that you want to share out to AISES members, we would love to have you reach out and let us know that. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to put this down here. All right. So thank you, Dr. Gula, for answering those questions. Yeah, so let's open the floor. Does anyone have any burning questions that they want to ask out loud? We're happy to help. And does the spring renewal kind of make sense to everyone? I mean, I know some of you are repeat scholars, and so I'm sure that makes sense to you, but I just want to make sure that when it comes to January, no one's super surprised that we're asking for this stuff again when they've given it to us in the fall. And so I just want to prepare you all as much as possible, because I know that can also take time to gather. And so just want to make this as easy for y'all as we can.
Taylor, I saw a question about uploading, the renewal documents. I can't remember, do they get a notice do they get an email notice from the system, or is there a certain time that they can just automatically upload it, or?
We haven't built out the system for the renewal yet. You'll get your initial email from me, and that'll have your instructions for how you'll do that. I think you'll upload them to your AISES site if it's ready by then, which it should be. But if not, you'll probably be sending them to me via email as like a last resort. But hopefully you'll be uploading them the exact same way you did last time to your AISES profile, to your scholarship. Can you put the email of the person we reach out to? Yeah, so I'm putting the email for myself, which I'm sure if you search your inbox will be in there more than once. I'm going to put Hope as well. I need to pull up my, let's see.
You want me to put mine?
Oh yeah, we put yours.
Awesome, yep.
Sorry. So there's mine. Hope will put hers in there as well.
Yeah, and I was gonna say there's a lot of information tonight, so it's okay if you still have questions in the future or when it's coming up. You can always email us and take a look at our website. It always has like other answers to questions that you're like, oh wait, I don't know. So you can check the website if we're not getting back as soon. So yeah.
And there's a question, is there a deadline for spring renewal documents? Right now, there is not. There's no there's no deadline as of right now. We haven't worked out that timeline. But as soon as we have that information, I'll send that to you. And it's going to be in like the spring. So it's going to be in like January and February that we will be working on those renewals. And so don't think it's something that you need to work on right now. I just want to make sure that you are not surprised when we reach out to you in possibly the end of December, the beginning of January, to start gathering that information. And like I said, we understand that schools have different timelines. You might not have your grades. You might even have your classes for spring. So that's something that we just want to make sure that's on your radar as well as ours. And we're happy to answer any of those questions. Oh, yes, I did forget to say that another scholarship that we have in the spring that will be coming up probably pretty soon is I mentioned the conferences. We have a leadership summit that is going to be this spring. And actually, I should have added that information, but I will send that out in an email because I don't remember the dates, but there's a scholarship that's coming up for the travel funds to go to Leadership Summit, which is going to be in California. So it's kind of like national conference if you've ever been, but kind of shrunken down, a little bit smaller, but still great speakers, great place to make connections. And the travel scholarship covers your room, your registration, and your flight to and from Leadership Summit. And we have a national conference travel that opens up in the summer. I'm sure some of you saw that. The dates for Leadership Summit, thank you, Dr. Pula. The dates of Leadership Summit are April 3rd through the 5th of 2022. So this next April, the 3rd through the 5th, and it's going to be in California. So if everyone wants to come to sunny California in the spring, make sure you apply for that. You do have to be a full-time student. There are very limited spots. And so this past national conference, we took 10 people through various funders. So for leadership, I think it's a smaller pool, but if you're interested in going, definitely recommend. And that's another reason also to be an AISES member is because we do start to send out stuff about Leadership Summit and National Conference really soon. So if that's something you're interested in, and you can always ask me as well. We haven't opened the travel scholarship for Leadership Summit yet, but you will be notified as soon as we do. Thank you for reminding me, Dr. Pula. I totally forgot about that one. All right. Does anyone have any other questions? You can shout them out. You could type them out, whatever you want to do. I just want to reiterate also, if you have not received your funds for this scholarship year or for your fall, please reach out to me. I think I've asked almost everyone, but if you have not received those funds, please let me know as soon as possible. And also make sure you check your checking account and your savings account before you reach out to me. Only because we've had that a couple of times this year where they actually put their savings account number instead of their checking. And so just want to make sure that everyone has their scholarship in hand. Yeah.
Hi, I actually have a couple of questions. First, for the leadership summit that you were talking about, if you wanted to go to that, but like you're already in California, so maybe you don't need the travel thing, can you go without applying for the scholarship?
Oh yeah, definitely. The scholarship is just like travel fun. So if someone lives somewhere else where they need to fly, you can definitely go. Yeah, it's going to be on the website. I don't know if they've opened it up yet, but they'll be sending out information about it really soon. And so, yep, definitely. We encourage all students to go if they're really close. That would be amazing. There's going to be really great speakers, a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of great people. So definitely recommend. Yeah, good question.
Okay. And then my other question, I know you said like for the ACES scholarships, they're not anything that you have to report to your school, but like my university is really particular about it. And like I know you said you're Chickasaw, so I don't know if you know about the clothing grants that they have for college students.
Yeah.
I applied for that and I got that. And they wanted me to report that, and then they've actually pulled that out of my tuition scholarship. So that was a little bit frustrating.
Yeah.
What do you think I should do?
I mean, I don't think you should report the ACES scholarship. And the Chickasaw one, that's interesting they did that because they put that as like you have to be a student, but they almost say it as like it's like emergency funds a little bit of like if you really need them. That's Dr. Pula, if you have any if you have anything different to say, but I would say do not, if it's going directly to you, do not report it to your school. because it is basically like unrestricted funds. So you don't have to use it on tuition. It doesn't have to go to the school at all. Like I said, your computer, if you need a new cell phone for school, for gas to get to class. So it doesn't have to go to the school at all. So I would not report it if you can get around it. Obviously, we don't want to get you in trouble. So Johnny, how do you feel about that?
I agree. I just think, what they don't know can't hurt them. So I mean, they'll never know if you just don't tell them. Yeah. If something like if they've already requested or whatever, I think it's probably too late. But I think in the future, yeah, I just wouldn't say anything.
Yeah. And obviously we want you to do what you're comfortable with. So if you are really nervous about it and feel like something, if you were to get in like really big trouble about it and that's something that you're nervous about, obviously we were totally fine if you do report it. It's just not going to the school at all. From what, it doesn't have to go to the school. And so I would say you don't have to report it, especially if it's going to put you over that threshold. That's a big deal. Because I know, like you said, like they took that out of your school. That is crazy to me. So especially if you're going to hit that threshold, I would say don't. Yeah, that's a good question though.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Where did you say that conference was again?
It's going to be in California. It's going to be at the Pechanga Casino and Resort. And that's the Leadership Summit. They'll be sending out information really soon about it on our website, and through like the newsletter and stuff.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. And there's a question, what if we're at a quarter school? Do we send you both our winter and spring schedules? Yes, any schedules that you have to be able to show that you're going to continue to be full-time. We definitely want to see that. I know we have some people who are in quarter school or in like their schools do quarters. That's totally fine. As long as you can verify that you're going to be full-time for both quarters that are coming up, then we're totally fine with that. Yes, and the AISES National Conference will be in Palm Springs in October the 6th to the 8th, 2022, which will be really exciting. Who doesn't love a little California vacay to go meet some really awesome Indigenous people in STEM? And I'll be there, so, we can see each other in real life. Does anyone else have any questions? And again, we're always around, and we put our emails in the chat, but also we definitely sent you some emails directly from our email addresses. So if you ever need even questions, like please reach out. We're definitely here to help. We want to make sure that you feel supported. We totally understand the stresses and what it's like to be a college student. And so we just really appreciate you all and just really want to encourage you to keep going. We're extremely proud to have this group of students be affiliated with AISES and that we get to support you. It's truly a highlight for us. And so please know that you have friends at AISES that have your back, and we're always here to support you. So if there are no other questions, I am going to just stop this recording really quickly.